We've had some wild weather across the southeastern United States, but the big question on everybody's mind, will snow sneak into the Midlands of South Carolina? Hi everybody, I'm Scout's meteorologist Justin Kier here, and I want to say this before we jump into the forecast. We are expecting perhaps a little bit of a changeover tomorrow morning, but I want to say that this is going to be a very low impact event. Now you can see all rain across the Midlands of South Carolina right now, but notice those purples, pinks, and whites that you see in the upstate of South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina, where it's been a much more active day. In fact, some places like Oconee County had nearly 4.5 inches of snow. Other places in the upstate, 2+ inches. So it's been very active up there. And if you have any traveling to do towards the upstate tonight, please be careful. These are the different advisories, watches, and warnings, not only across South Carolina, but also across the southeastern United States. Look at the expansion of this thing. This goes into the northeastern United States as well. Remember last night when we showed this, Texas was included. We still have some of that from Texas to Louisiana, all the way up to Maine with this particular storm system. This is very, very impressive. Now, as we take a look at our current picture here on Skywatch Doppler radar, we don't have any sort of advisories, watches, or warnings for the Watch Fox viewing area, which is good news. But unfortunately, if you're outside right now, it is a cold rain across the Midlands. And in fact, that cold rain is going to be with us during the overnight period. You may have also noticed a little bit of drying back towards the west. That's limiting precipitation right now in places like Newberry and Saluda counties, where temperatures have dropped into the mid-30s. So if you're experiencing rain right now, it's in the 30s and the 40s. Now here's something interesting. On our latest run of the Future Watch model, notice that the pinks and the purples and the whites here early tomorrow morning start to sneak into the far northern Midlands and actually dip a little bit further south than some of our previous forecast models. Now what that tells us is that there's a possibility that you could see rain briefly change over to snow, maybe even some sleet as well, and then eventually back to rain. Most of this should be gone by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow before eventually clearing out precipitation-wise by tomorrow afternoon. So it could be a bit of a sight to see, but overall a very low impact weather event. We'll talk a little bit more about the details of that storm system, as well as what I think is the bigger headline over the course of the next 7 days, and that is the significant cool down. We're talking about overnight lows later this weekend in the 20s across the Midlands of South Carolina. We'll talk about your full 7-day forecast coming up later in the show.